Hey guys, Frank Godzilla Island here for the Mazer Squad with a review of Tetlacatl vs. the Army of Monsters, Issue 1, Part 1, The Solution, by Jorge Garza. Now, if you've seen Tetlacatl on this channel before, I've covered the Issue 0 and the full special in another video review, so you can check that out. It should be in our playlist. It'll be linked down below as well. But here's a review of the first full-length book, 46 pages, Tetlacatl vs. the Army of Monsters. These are the previous two entries, and these are some of Jorge's other books and works that he's had. He makes a ton of really cool art. Let's dive into this one. So, if you haven't heard of Tetlacatl before, I'm going to do a quick rundown from the previous issues. Tetlacatl was a stone robot made by an ancient Aztec scientist who no longer wished to commit human sacrifices, blood sacrifices to the sun god. He didn't want to lose his people to the sun god, so he had a vision of giant monsters, kaiju, and figured the giant hearts and all the blood that were inside these monsters would be enough to satisfy the sun god instead of sacrificing countless humans and fellow tribe members. So he set Tetlacatl out in space. But what Tetlacatl doesn't know is that during his journey and launch out into space, after he left Earth, his scientist Tetlacatl lab was destroyed. He was killed, and so he has nobody to report back to. So he reports his kills back and gets no response, and he figures, all right, it's not enough. Keep heading out into space. So this issue only just dropped in 2023. So which is just February 2023. So I'm hoping that we see more coming. These all started back around COVID time. So it's been about 3 years now. So we had two specials and one full length. So the story starts, Tetlacatl has been off in space for quite a while since the fall special. He detects a planet with some monsters, but it's a 3 years journey away, so he goes into like a stasis state, and so he's basically got only his travel systems working. He's a robot made of stone. Finally gets to the planet. It's a liquid planet. And as he approaches, there's this ship watching him with an alien on it, and they kind of just observing. It's cloaked. They shoot at him with a blast just to see how much of a threat he is, and it causes some system malfunctions. Tetlacatl falls into the ocean. Well, the whole planet's covered in liquid, so it's kind of hard to say an ocean, but it falls to the planet's surface, and his first encounter is like a Mosasaurus type kaiju. It's about to bite him, and then this huge tentacle comes out, and we see this crazy big kaiju reminds me of like crab eyes, but it's got all these tentacles, and he eats the little kaiju, and then he sees Tetlacatl and tries to take a bite out of him, and realizes he's stoned. Tetlacatl, and like I've said in previous ones, all the kaiju in the series, they talk. Tetlacatl is like, I'm here to slay you, Tetlacatl. And Tetlacatl uses this tentacle storm thing, and Tetlacatl dodges all these tentacles, and he cuts one off, and it causes a lot of blood loss. And he goes and gets eaten. He rips out the heart of Tetlacatl, and then all these sharks come in. It's pretty cool. He gets eaten by Tetlacatl, and then he punches his way out and rips the heart out, and the blood kind of draws all these shark kaiju fish to the Tetlacatl, and they begin eating them. And in this feeding frenzy, Tetlacatl gets eaten once again by another giant fish monster. So he then again finds his way to another organ of the body and cuts himself out. And just when he thinks he's free again, he gets knocked out and pulled down by some tentacles once again, but this time it's a different kaiju. And the little alien guy that was observing him in space has been perfecting kaiju for years. He looks like a robot kind of, but he's really in a suit. And Tetlacatl is like, I'm going to defeat you as well. The alien's name is Dr. Foco, and Tetlacatl doesn't really seem to appreciate any of his story. He's trying to explain himself why he doesn't like robots, but Tetlacatl breaks free, punches him, and he's like, oh wow, you're a worthy adversary. And they begin fighting, and Dr. Foco doesn't really put up much of a fight. He kind of gets beat down. And then the kaiju, which is under Dr. Foco's control that he created, grabs Tetlacatl, stops him from killing Dr. Foco, and he's about to kill Dr. Foco to take his large heart. But Dr. Foco shrinks down, and it turns out he's not that big at all. And Tetlacatl stops, and Dr. Foco's like, listen, give me a chance to explain myself why I'm making monsters and don't like robots, but I would like to team up with you. So he gives his whole backstory of his homeworld. His planet was invaded by robots, and Dr. Foco was one of the smarter beings on his planet. He figured out how to make kaiju, so he made an army of monsters to defeat the army of robots. The thing is, once the army of robots was defeated, he got dubbed like the king of the planet. He made a clone of himself to kind of watch over the planet while he head out on his adventures, because Dr. Foco had to leave the planet because the kaiju became erratic, and he could no longer control them like he used to. And now he went from a planet overrun by robots to now a planet overrun by kaiju. So his love was killed on the planet by the monsters. And like I said, he left a clone of himself on the planet to kind of rule and run the planet as well as he could while he went out to space to find a solution to defeat the kaiju he had created. And which brings us back to Tetlacatl. And he's like, listen, can you help me out? I have a planet full of monsters. You're here to collect monster blood and heart. He's like, I have an endless supply for you. Can we just team up? He's like, I don't want to be your enemy. Can you come help liberate my world? Now, his world is supposed to be 300 million light years away. And thanks to his ship's technology, they're able to cut that trip down significantly to only a few years, I believe. And they finally arrive to the planet. They land on the planet, and Dr. Foco's clone, Foco 2, kind of is like, put him under arrest. He's a phony, and we gotta decommission that robot. We must destroy it. And it leaves with that big cliffhanger. So the next issue that we will be seeing them in is the clone of Dr. Foco. And I'm really hoping that we see that issue sooner rather than later. He's done, since COVID, it's been, I believe, 3 years, 3 issues. So I'm assuming this came out February 2023. Maybe my hopes are early 2024 we'll see an issue, or the back end of 2023 we'll see issue 2 of this. It's a really cool story. I really like the concept. Tetlacatl is just, in this issue especially, just action-packed. He's just jumping from monster to monster to monster, just endless fighting. Really awesome art. Like I said, it's a pretty cool original story where it's an ancient Aztec robot. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that ever before in comics or on the big screen. It gives me Redman, Ultraman-ish vibes. Some Johnny Soko and his giant robot, of course, inspired a little of this. And overall, it's just a really fun series. Cool concept, cool character designs. And I'm just really hoping to see more of this. So give Jorge Garza some support. Check out these comics. You could absolutely pick them up. I believe it's only $13 to get all 3 of the first issues. I'm going to link his site down below. And thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy Tetlacatl versus the Army of Monsters.